hope you are great. Today we are going to take chapter 9, chemical reactions, section 1, forming a new substance. First, we should know the meaning of chemical reactions. What's meant by chemical reactions is a process in which one or more substance change to make one or more new substance. For example, if we have sodium react with chloride, form sodium chloride. This is a chemical reaction. Two substances react together and form a new substance. Chemical and physical properties of a new substance different from those of original substance. For example, when you mix water with a baking powder or baking soda, substance in the baking powder react to form bubbles of carbon dioxide gas. These bubbles give the muffin its sponge-like texture. Look, when you use a baking powder or baking soda to make a cake, what happened? Baking soda or baking powder react and release carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide make a muffin or make a cake sponge. This is a reaction. Another example, leaves change color in the fall as a result of chemical change in leaves. At the leaves in autumn, what happened? It react and form a new substance. This new substance has a different color or has an orange color like this, not a green color of leaf. This is a chemical reaction. Sign of chemical reaction. How can you tell when a chemical reaction may take place? Some reaction form solid precipitate. Precipitate is a solid substance that form in a solution. In other chemical reaction, gas bubbles form. So, how can you tell this chemical reaction is taking place? When a solid formed, this sign called solid precipitate. Precipitate is a solid substance that form in a solution. Or when a gas bubble form. When a gas bubble form, this is a sign of chemical reaction happened here. Look. Some reactions make new substance that have different color than the starting substance. During other chemical reaction, energy is given off. This energy may be in form of light, heat, or electric energy. Look at this test tube. This is a solid formation or solid precipitate. This is a sign of chemical reaction happen. Here you see a potassium chromate solution being added to silver nitrate. We have a potassium chromate and silver nitrate. These two substances react together and form silver chromate. Silver chromate is a solid substance. So when it formed, when a silver chromate formed, solid precipitate here. So this is a sign of chemical reaction, or this is a sign of silver chromate happen or formed. Gas formation. The chemical reaction in the beaker has formed a brown gas, nitrogen dioxide. This is gas formed when a strip of copper is placed into nitric acid. We have copper plus nitric acid placed in a beaker. So copper reacts with nitric acid and form nitrogen dioxide. Nitrogen dioxide is nitrogen dioxide in form of gas and give a brown gas like this. So this is a sign of chemical reaction, or this is a sign of nitrogen dioxide formed. Energy change. Energy is released during some chemical reaction. The fire in this photo give off energy in the form of light and heat. During other chemical reaction, energy is taken in. So when react wood plus when you burn wood, it turned into give us heat and light. So this is a sign of chemical reaction, as wood react with oxygen and then burn and give us heat and light. Color change. Don't spill chlorine bleach on your jeans. The bleach react with a blue dye on the fabric and cause the color of material to change. When a color change, like example of chlorine, when you add chlorine, chlor or bleach chlorine on agents, what happened? Chlorine react with the dye or the blue dye in the agents and turned into or change color into colorless, like this picture. So this is a sign of reaction. This sign of chlorine react with a dye. Change of properties. Even though the sign we look for to see if a reaction is taking place are good sign of chemical reaction. They do not guarantee that a reaction is happening. For example, gas can be given off when a liquid boil. When a liquid boil, gas can given off. So this is not a sign of a chemical reaction, as when a liquid boil, it is a physical change, so not a chemical change. So how can we be sure that a chemical reaction is happening? The most important sign in the formation of new substance that have a new properties. For example, starting a material in the reaction are sugar and sulfuric acid. Look at this picture. This is reaction between sugar and sulfuric acid. Several signs tell you that chemical reaction is taking place. Bubbles, we look here, bubbles formed, bubbles and vapor and gas is given off. So this is a sign of chemical reaction. Bubbles form, which tell you that a gas is given off. The beaker become very hot. There is another sign, but most important sign, new substance form, and the properties of this substance are very different from those of the starting substance. So I start the reaction with sugar and sulfuric acid, and the product with a new properties or new with a new properties than the starting substance. This is a very important sign that this a change it's an important sign of chemical reaction happens, as the properties of the product is not the same as the properties of the starting substance or of the reactants. Chemical bonds. What's meant by chemical bond? Chemical bond is a force that holds two atoms together in a molecule. For a chemical reaction to take place, the original bond must break and new bond form. Breaking and making bond. How do you new substance form a chemical action? First, chemical bond in the starting substance must break. Molecules are always moving. If the molecules bump into each other with enough energy, the chemical bond in the molecules can break. The atom then rearrange and new bond form to make a new substance. What happens during chemical reaction? To form a chemical reaction, must break a bond and forming a new bond or making a new bond. Like this example, hydrogen and chlorine. To form hydrogen chloride, we should to break this bond between hydrogen and break bonds between chlorine and form hydrogen chloride, HCl. So breaking a bond and forming a new bond. Breaking a bond. Hydrogen and chlorine are diatomic, which is mean consists of two atoms. Diatomic molecules are two atoms bonded together. The atom joining this atom, the bond joining these atoms must break before the atom can react with each other, making bond. A new substance, hydrogen chloride, form as a new bond are made between hydrogen and chloride. Hydrogen chloride is also diatomic molecules. Reaction and energy. Chemical energy is a part of all chemical reaction. Energy is needed to break a chemical bond, so we need energy to break this bond in the starting substance. As a new bond form in the final substance, energy is released. By comparing the chemical energy of the original substance with the chemical energy of the final substance, you can decide if energy is released or absorbed in the overall reaction. So we have types of reaction: exothermic reaction or endothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction when the reaction release heat or give off heat. Endothermic reaction when reaction absorb heat. So Chemical reaction in which energy is released is called exothermic reaction. Exo mean go out or exit, thermic mean heat or energy. Exothermic reaction give off energy in several forms. If heat is released in an exothermic reaction, the nearby matter will become warmer. For example, the reaction between gasoline and oxygen in car engine is an exothermic reaction, as it release heat or give off heat. So this reaction between gasoline and oxygen in a car engine, this is which type of reaction? Exothermic reaction. Another example, when a light energy is released in the exothermic reaction that is taking place in this light sticks. Look, when a light energy released in this light sticks, this is a reaction which is called exothermic reaction. Another example, electric energy is released in the exothermic reaction that will take place in this battery. When a battery releases an electric energy or electricity, this is a sign of exothermic reaction. Look here, light and heat are released in the exothermic reaction taking place in this campfire. When wood burn, what happens? Light and heat are released. So this is the reaction called exothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction, chemical reaction in which energy is taken in or absorbed chemical energy. So in endothermic reaction, we absorb energy, called endothermic reaction. Endo which mean go in. The energy taken in during an endothermic reaction is absorbed from the surrounding. An example of endothermic reaction in photosynthesis process, which is a very important example for endothermic reaction. As in the photosynthesis process, plants take carbon dioxide from the air and water from the soil, and in presence of sunlight or absorbable heat from the sunlight, it turn into give us sugar and oxygen. So in this reaction, what happened? For plant to make sugar and oxygen, must absorb energy from the sunlight or absorb heat from the sunlight to form sugar and oxygen. So this endothermic reaction, it need heat or energy from the sunlight to form sugar and oxygen. So carbon dioxide react with water in photosynthesis process, and in presence of sunlight or absorbable energy that come from sunlight to form sugar and oxygen. In a photosynthesis process, plants use light energy from the sun to produce glucose or sugar. Glucose is a simpler sugar that is used as a source of energy for living things. That's it. Thanks for watching.